Hello students, today I am taking a topic interhalogen compounds. For the JEE Mains, JEE Advanced and NEET programs, this interhalogen compounds plays a very important role. So please concentrate on interhalogen compounds. What is called interhalogen compound? A compound formed between the reaction of two halogen atoms is called interhalogen. There are familiar examples are there, IF7. Here iodine and fluorine. These are formed by the action of iodine and fluorine. You take one more example, ClF5. This is also ClF3, of course. ClF3, chlorine and fluorine. BrF5. These are formed by the action of between two halogen atoms. Compounds which are formed by the action of between two halogen atoms called interhalogen compounds. Based on the atomicity, the interhalogen compounds are classified into four types. Before to explain the types of interhalogen compounds, let it be A and X. A is the halogen, X is also halogen. For the sake of convenience, this is less electronegative halogen. Less electronegative halogen, more electronegative halogen, more electronegative halogen. Because every interhalogen compound formed by two types of halogen atoms, so two different types, definitely one has a higher electronegativity, another one has a lower electronegativity. For the sake of convenience, here the halogen with less electronegativity I will call as A, and when with the more electronegativity I will call as X. Based on the atomicity of the interhalogen compounds are classified into four types. One is called AX, another one is called AX3, another one is called AX5, another one is called AX7. Students, here A is halogen, X is a halogen, but it is a less electronegative halogen, it is a more electronegative halogen. In another word, less electronegative halogen is the central atom for the molecule, central atom. And more electronegative halogen atom is surrounded atom, surrounded atoms. For the sake of convenience, here an IF7 is there. Iodine is less electronegative, fluorine is more electronegative. This simply represented as AX7. A is less electronegative, X is more electronegative. A is the central atom and X is the surrounded atom. So this is the way of classification. A is less electronegative, that's why it always exhibits +1 oxidation state in this compound, and X exhibits -1 because more electronegative halogens always exhibits -1 oxidation state. Here A exhibits +3 oxidation state and here A exhibits +5 oxidation state. Here A exhibits +7 oxidation state. This is the simple classification of interhalogen compounds. These AX and AX3 and AX5 and AX7. This is one class, this is another class. This class of interhalogen compound generally formed when the electronegativity difference is low. Electronegativity difference is low. Electronegativity difference is low. This type of compounds are formed by electronegativity difference is more. It is formed by due to the larger electronegativity difference. These are formed by the smaller electronegativity difference. If you take IF7, among the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, the adjacent atoms has less electronegativity difference. But the atoms which are separated by two or more atoms have the more electronegativity difference. Such molecules form either AX5 or AX7. So IF7 is a class of AX7 due to the larger electronegativity difference. Right students, AX3 type of interhalogens are formed due to the electronegativity difference of lower, and it is formed due to the higher electronegativity difference. Now let's see what are the properties, how can we prepare those interhalogen compounds in the next session. Students, how the interhalogens are prepared? You have to remember one important point. Interhalogens are formed by the combination of only two types of halogens, not more than two types of halogens. Of course, they have more number of halogen atoms, but types are only two. Here look at this, one chlorine, one fluorine, one chlorine, three fluorine. Total halogens are 4, but chlorine number, halogen number is only two types. Here also two types. Here totally halogens are 8, but types are only 2. So student have to remember the important point is interhalogens are formed only between two types of halogen atoms. How they prepare? How they prepare? Look at these equations. Direct combination of two halogen atoms or indirect combination of halogen with the one interhalogen. Suppose you take the BRF3. To this BRF3, if you add fluorine, you can get this BRF5. Chlorine plus fluorine gives interhalogen. Chlorine plus fluorine, depending on the conditions, interhalogen is formed. Interhalogen compound is formed by the direct combination of two halogens, or one halogen directly combines with the another interhalogen compound. So student have to apply the memory based work on this one. Chlorine plus fluorine equal volumes ClF. Chlorine excess of fluorine ClF3. Iodine chlorine equal volumes ICl. Iodine excess chlorine ICl3 twice. ICl3 will not exist. It exists as a dimer. We will discuss about its structure at the end of this topic. And bromine and fluorine, depending on the conditions. If it is diluted, fluorine is diluted with the nitrogen, BRF3 is the product, and bromine reacts with the excess fluorine, BRF5 is the product formed. Or sometimes interhalogen compound, when reacts with the other halogen, another interhalogen or a higher interhalogen compound will form. I want to explain the preparation of IF, IF5 and IF7. Very simple students, iodine and fluorine will react, it forms 2IF, and iodine when reacts with fluorine at some 20 degrees centigrade around, IF5 will form 2IF5, or iodine gas and excess of fluorine and form IF7. So depending on the quantities and ratios of types of halogens taken, the products will come out. This is a simple way to prepare the interhalogen compounds. Now we are entering into the properties of interhalogen compounds. Students, now we are discussing, this is the time for discussing the properties of the interhalogens. All the properties of interhalogens are very similar to the halogens. Whatever the properties shown by the halogens, interhalogens also shows the same properties. But students have to remember a few points. Halogens are non-polar. Suppose you take the chlorine, Cl bond Cl. Or if you take the fluorine, F bond F. But if you take the IF, or if you take the ICl, or ICl, it is a polar bond. These two are non-polar bonds. Because of polarity, interhalogen compounds are more reactive than halogens. Halogens and interhalogens show the similar properties, but the reactivity is more for interhalogens due to the difference in the electronegativity. And that means due to the polarity of the bond. That is the important point. And come to some chemical properties and how they behave. IF is compound generally not exist. What is the reason? The electronegativity difference between iodine and fluorine is so larger, so it can readily form either IF5 or IF7 but not IF. That's why this IF is unstable, immediately decomposes into IF5 and I2. This is a disproportionation reaction. IF5. Here iodine has +1 oxidation state, iodine and fluorine has -1. Here iodine has plus 5 oxidation state. Here it has 0 oxidation state. Plus 1 changes to 0, plus 1 changes to plus 5. So it is a disproportionation reaction. And come to the hydrolysis of halogens. Interhalogens. Hydrolysis. ICl undergoes hydrolysis. Hydrolysis means, for the sake of convenience, H and OH. OH is the negatively charged part and H is the positively charged part. Here iodine is the central atom. So it always invites the OH group, and chlorine has the negative oxidation state. It always invites the hydrogen. So HOI and HCl are the products. That means oxyacids are formed by the central atom or less electronegative atom or larger iodine, larger halogen. And normal hydrogen acids are formed by the more electronegative halogen. If you students taking BRF5, bromine is less electronegative halogen, fluorine is more electronegative halogen. If it undergoes hydrolysis, hydrogen has a plus and OH has negative charge. For the convenience, I am writing like this. And this H plus will attack the fluorine and OH will attack this bromine. And then you are getting HbRO3 plus HF. So, during the hydrolysis of interhalogen compounds, the central atom or larger atom or the halogen with less electronegative atom can form oxyacids. That is the important point. And almost all interhalogen compounds in the liquid state, they undergo self-ionization and conduct the electricity. 2BRF3 in the liquid state will ionize as BRF2 plus BRF4 minus, and I2Cl6. In fact, it is a bright yellow colored solid, but in the liquid state it ionizes to ICl2 plus and ICl4 minus, and 2IF5 ionizes in the liquid state as IF4 plus and IF6 minus. So in the liquid state, they undergo self ionization and conduct the electricity. It's a very, very important point. And almost all fluorine containing interhalogen compounds will act as fluorinating agent. What is called fluorinating agent? They may donate fluorine, they may accept fluorine. Generally, fluorine donating groups are called fluorinating agents. Here IF7 and CSF will combine and shows this reaction, CSIF8 minus. It's a very important, it is a complex compound. Here the central atom is the iodine. Now we will discuss the relative comparison of the reactivity of different halogens. How their reactivity we will discuss. The reactivity depends on the size of the halogen atom and the electronegativity difference and polarity of the bond. Let's see what is the order of different halogen compounds in their reactivity. Students, this is the reactivity order of the halogens, interhalogens. Already I told that the reactivity will depends on the size of the halogen and electronegativity difference of the halogen. So based on all the factors, this is the reactivity order. So ClF3 is vigorously reactive, and then BRF5 and IF7 and ClF and BRF3, IF5, BRF, IF3 and IF. Student have to remember this reactivity order. There is no alternative way. Please observe the reactivity order. Students, now I am entering into the hybridization and shapes of interhalogen compounds. First I am taking a X molecule, and especially I will take an ICl or CLF. Here only one bond is present between chlorine and the fluorine, and fluorine has 2 lone pairs and chlorine also have 2 lone pairs. It is a simple version of the structure. Right, a single bond. If single bond is there, it is very difficult to say its structure, but in some books it is given as a linear. But it is not correct technically, because the shape is the arrangement of 2 bonds, but here only one bond is there. This is about the structure of AX molecule. Now let's see AX3. Students, for AX3 molecule, I am taking the ClF3. Here chlorine is the central atom. Its configuration is 3s2, 3p5, 3d0. This is the ground state configuration. S has 2 electrons and P has 5 electrons and D has no electron in the ground state. This is the ground state for chlorine. But in ClF3, chlorine need to form 3 bonds. That's why one pair will become unpaired by undergoing excitation state. That is called first excited state. First excited state. And the configuration is 3s1, 3s2, 3p4, 3d1. S has 2 electrons, P has 4 electrons, D has 1 electron. Right? The possible hybridization is sp3d. So there are 2 lone pairs with 2 lone pairs. sp3d hybridization with 2 lone pairs. Right? This is the central atom. Geometry is trigonal bipyramidal and there are 5 positions. The equatorial positions occupy the lone pairs and these positions occupy the more electronegative fluorine atoms, and this shape is appear to be fluorine, 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 fluorine. It is a T shape. So the shape of the molecule is T shape and the lone pairs occupies equatorial position. So the molecule shape is T shape. In AX3, the central atom present in the first excited state undergoes sp3d hybridization having the shape T shape. Right? Next we are taking AX5 molecule. Students, AX5 molecule is taken. Example is BRF5. What is the shape, hybridization and what is the position of the lone pairs? Generally, bromine in the ground state has the valency configuration of 4s2, 4p5, 4d0. That means one unpaired electron is there. But in fact, in the BRF5, bromine exhibits +5 oxidation state. It wants to form 5 bonds, but it has only one unpaired electron. So it wants to undergo excited state. If one pair will become unpaired, 3 unpaired electrons will come out. If 2 pairs will become unpaired, 5 unpaired electrons will come out. Because this one electron will excited to 4d, that is first excited state. If one more pair undergoes excitation, that is called second excited state. In the second excited state, bromine has the configuration of 4s2, 4p3 and 4d2. This is the configuration for the second excited state of the bromine. So the possible hybridization here is sp3d2 with one lone pair. Right? So here the central atom bromine, here one bond, here one bond, here one bond, here one bond. Actually we are expecting octahedral geometry. Here octahedral geometry will come out, but due to the presence of this lone pair, shape is distorted due to the repulsions. So the shape is called square pyramidal and one fluorine is present below the plane. All the bromine atoms and fluorine, 4 fluorines are present on one plane. Above that, one lone pair is present on the bromine and below the one fluorine. This lone pair causes some repulsion between these two. As a result, this shape is called as a square pyramidal. Square pyramidal. So AX5 molecules have square pyramidal geometry with the sp3d2 hybridization, and it has one lone pair on the central atom. Of course, surrounding every fluorine has 3 lone pairs. That is a different point. It will not affect the geometry of the molecule. or shape of the molecule is not influenced by the lone pairs present on the surrounded atoms. It is influenced only by the lone pairs present on the central atom. Let's see for the AX7, that is the last molecule. Students, AX7, example is IF7. Here iodine is the central atom. In the ground state it has this configuration. But in the IF7, iodine want to form 7 bonds, but it have only one unpaired electron. That's why every pair want to undergo excitation. So it needs 3 excited states. That means third excited state is required. So now every orbital have 1 electron and totally 7 unpaired electron, and the hybridization is sp3d3 with 0 lone pairs. If the sp3d3 with 0 lone pairs is, the shape is pentagonal bipyramidal. Fluorine. This iodine and all the 5 fluorine atoms are present in one plane, and above the plane of this atoms fluorine is there, and below that one more fluorine is there. Here the angle is 72 degrees. That means between axial fluorine and equatorial fluorine the angle is 72, sorry students, 90 degrees, because this fluorine is perpendicular to this plane, and among these angle is 72 degrees because it is around 360 by 5 bonds, that is equal to 72 degrees. So 2 types of bond angles are there. This shape is called as, hybridization is sp3d3, and the shape is called as pentagonal bipyramidal. Right? And lastly, the simple I2Cl6. I2Cl6 is a planar molecule. It is an interhalogen planar molecule, and its structure is like this: iodine, here chlorine normal covalent, chlorine normal covalent, chlorine normal covalent, chlorine normal covalent, normal covalent, here normal covalent. But this chlorine made a dative bond and this chlorine made a dative bond. All are present in one plane. It is a planar molecule. These 2 chlorine atoms are bridged chlorines. It is a special case of the interhalogen compounds. This is all about the interhalogen compounds, students. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like and please share and please mobilize your circle to subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.